Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free French ebook before it's gone. Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. Today, we'll learn conversational phrases about occupations. After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about your job and ask what somebody does for a living. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your occupation PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Que faites-vous dans la vie?
Je suis artiste.
Listen to it again, now with the English translation.
Que faites-vous dans la vie?
What do you do?
Je suis artiste.
I'm an artist. First of all, you need to learn how to say, what do you do? That's.
Que faites-vous dans la vie?
Listen to it again.
Que faites-vous dans la vie? Que faites-vous dans la vie?
Now, how do you answer this question? This is the pattern you'll need.
Je suis.
Your occupation. I'm an, your occupation. For example, I'm an artist.
Je suis artiste. Je suis artiste.
Here are a few more professions you can use with the same pattern. Police officer.
Policier. Policier.
Policière. Policière.
Teacher.
Enseignant. Enseignant.
Enseignante. Enseignante.
Doctor.
Médecin. Médecin.
Doctoresse. Doctoresse.
Engineer.
Ingénieur. Ingénieur.
Now, listen to some examples.
Que faites-vous dans la vie?
Je suis enseignant.
Que faites-vous dans la vie?
Je suis médecin.
Que faites-vous dans la vie?
Je suis ingénieur.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what do you do?
Que faites-vous dans la vie?
Imagine you're a doctor. Do you remember how to say, doctor?
Médecin. Médecin.
Say, I'm a doctor.
Je suis médecin.
Now answer the question saying that you are a doctor.
Que faites-vous dans la vie?
Je suis médecin.
Now, imagine you're a teacher. Do you remember how to say teacher?
Enseignante. Enseignante.
Say, I'm a teacher.
Je suis enseignant.
Now, answer the question saying that you are a teacher.
Que faites-vous dans la vie?
Je suis enseignant.
Now, imagine you're an engineer. Do you remember how to say engineer?
Ingénieur. Ingénieur.
Say, I'm an engineer.
Je suis ingénieur.
Now, answer the question saying that you are an engineer.
Que faites-vous dans la vie?
Je suis ingénieur.
Most people who learn a foreign language learn it so that they can one day have real-life conversations with native speakers. When you start out learning and crack open your first textbook or listen to your first podcast, having a real conversation can feel like a fantasy. When everything about a language feels new, it can be overwhelming. But this couldn't be further from the truth. While it does take a significant amount of time and effort to become fluent, having a conversation might not be as far off as you think. In this video, we'll look at 3 ways you can boost your conversational skills and start talking to native speakers. Number 1, find native speakers and practice with them. It's unlikely you live near a big group of native speakers to practice with. If you happen to be in a major or international city, your chances may be better. Check and see if your city has a general language exchange. Chances are there could be a native speaker there who is also trying to learn another language. Practicing in person with a native speaker is probably the most interesting option for honing your speaking skills. But if you can't find anyone where you live, the next best option is to look online. Luckily for language learners, the past 10 years or so have seen an explosion in online language exchange sites. On these websites, you can search for someone who is a native speaker of your target language and is also learning your native language. The idea behind a language exchange is that you communicate with them via video or text chat, and half of the time, they help you practice your target language. And for the other half, you help them practice theirs. Practicing via an online language exchange is a highly effective way to practice your conversational skills. Number 2, work on pronunciation. Pronunciation is often an overlooked skill when it comes to learning a foreign language. Most people think of a good foreign accent as a luxury rather than a necessity. But what most people don't talk about is how having a good accent boosts your listening and comprehension skills. If you can hear a sound from a foreign language and know how to make it yourself, then you're more likely to understand native speakers when they talk at normal speed, and you're also more likely to remember any new words or phrases you come across. Having a good accent means that the language no longer sounds foreign. Instead, it sounds familiar, maybe even natural. So how do you go about perfecting your accent? The best way is to break down the language into its individual sounds. Make note of any sounds that are the same or similar to your native language and of those that are different. Of the sounds that are different, spend your time practicing the ones that you find the hardest to say correctly. After you're comfortable with the individual sounds, you can start linking together words and phrases. This is where accent practice starts to get really fun and interesting. Get your hands on some native speaker audio from a TV show, song, or podcast. Play the audio back and listen closely a few times. Take note of how words blend together in speech. Then, do your best to imitate what you hear, trying to match the speaker's emphasis and intonation. Our language learning program's playback feature is perfect for this. Record yourself and compare it to the original recording. Rinse and repeat until you're comfortable with the audio selection, and then move on to something more difficult. This is how you can break through the accent barrier and really start to make the language your own. Number 3, learn phrases, not just individual words. Learning grammar and individual words is great, but it's not the only approach you should take if you want to speak fluently. In addition to your regular grammar and vocabulary, try learning whole phrases, even if you aren't totally sure how they work grammatically. Learn phrases that are specific to your needs. It's a good idea to learn phrases that are grouped around a certain setting or subject, such as simple greetings or introductions, questions for getting to know someone, or traveling comfortably. You can even learn filler phrases, which you can use so that you have something to say when, well, you don't know what to say. Learning phrases like this will help you become conversational faster. You may not understand what you're saying literally, but as long as you know the general meaning behind the phrase and know when to use it, you'll be able to talk like a native. Eventually, your knowledge of grammar and vocabulary should catch up with the phrases you know. Learning a new language should feel like an adventure. There will be plateaus and periods in your learning where it feels like you're hitting a wall, but being able to speak with native speakers and have real conversations will help you combat language fatigue. After all, talking to someone face-to-face in a foreign language is one of the main reasons we start learning in the first place. And for even more ways to gain conversation skills, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey everyone, Alicia here. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, how's your mother? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about well-being and ask how someone is doing. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Conversation About Family Well-Being PDF cheat sheet for free. Now let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Comment va ta mère? Elle va bien.
Once more with the English translation.
Comment va ta mère?
How's your mother?
Elle va bien.
She's fine. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, how's your mother? That's,
Comment va ta mère?
listen to it again.
Comment va ta mère? Comment va ta mère?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
Elle va.
state of well-being. This French sentence literally means she goes, but it translates as she is state of well-being in English. For example, she's fine.
Elle va bien. Elle va bien.
Here are a few expressions related to well-being that you can use with this pattern. Great,
Très bien. Très bien.
fine,
Bien. Bien.
bad,
Mal. Mal.
not good,
Pas bien. Pas bien.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Comment va ta mère? Elle va très bien. Comment va ta mère? Elle va mal. Comment va ta mère? Elle ne va pas bien.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, how's your mother?
Comment va ta mère?
Imagine she's great. Do you remember how to say great?
Très bien. Très bien.
Say, she's great.
Elle va très bien.
Now, answer the question saying she's great.
Comment va ta mère? Elle va très bien.
Now imagine she's bad. Do you remember how to say bad?
Mal. Mal.
Say, she's bad.
Elle va mal.
Now answer the question saying she's bad.
Comment va ta mère? Elle va mal.
Now imagine she's not good. Do you remember how to say not good?
Pas bien. Pas bien.
Say, she's not good.
Elle ne va pas bien.
Now, answer the question saying she's not good.
Comment va ta mère? Elle ne va pas bien.
You've studied for a while and are ready to talk to people and practice what you've learned. But where do you start? Starting a conversation in a new language can seem a bit intimidating. How do you just jump into it? In this video, we'll look at 5 ways to start conversations. Number 1. Introduce yourself in your target language. This is usually one of the first things you learn when you start studying a new language. And sometimes, starting a conversation, or continuing one, is as simple as introducing yourself. Number 2. Talking about the weather. This is a universal talking point. People talk about the weather all over the world. And just saying, "It's really nice today," is enough to start a conversation. A great way to practice your weather conversation skills is to check out our Can-Do lesson pathway. This series of lessons teaches you how to talk about the weather in your target language. Number 3. Give compliments. Compliments are a great way to start a conversation. You can compliment something about your conversation partner's city, country, or something specific to them personally. "Hey, your bag is super cute," or "That ice cream looks delicious." These kinds of compliments can lead to further conversation about what you complimented. In this case, it could be fashion or a local restaurant. This is a great way to make quick connections with people. Number 4. Ask for help. For example, you can ask for directions, ask about prices, or request recommendations for restaurants or shopping spots, and let the conversation go from there. People are usually happy to lend a helping hand to tourists who are visiting their city. Number 5. Learn phrases for transactions. This can include getting a room at a hotel or telling a taxi driver where to go. When you're traveling overseas, you'll need to talk to other people in your target language. And while this might be a bit scary at first, you'll find that the people you meet are just happy that you're trying to communicate with them. So get started talking in your target language now. For even more tips on how to start conversations, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey everyone, Alicia here. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, "What's the matter?" After watching this video, you'll be able to make complaints and ask someone else if they're having any issues. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Making Complaints PDF cheat sheet for free. Now let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Est-ce que tout va bien?
Le bureau est sombre.
Once more with the English translation.
Est-ce que tout va bien?
What's the matter?
Le bureau est sombre.
The office is dark. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, "What's the matter?" That's,
Est-ce que tout va bien?
listen to it again.
Est-ce que tout va bien? Est-ce que tout va bien?
This French sentence literally translates into, "Is everything okay?" But it means, "What's the matter?" Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
Le bureau est.
adjective. The office is adjective. For example, the office is dark.
Le bureau est sombre. Le bureau est sombre.
Here are a few more examples you can use with the same pattern to make complaints. Dark,
sombre, sombre,
small,
petit, petit,
noisy,
bruyant, bruyant,
dirty,
sale, sale.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Est-ce que tout va bien? Le bureau est petit. Est-ce que tout va bien? Le bureau est bruyant. Est-ce que tout va bien? Le bureau est sale.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "What's the matter?"
Est-ce que tout va bien?
Imagine the office is small. Do you remember how to say small?
Petit, petit,
Say, the office is small.
le bureau est petit.
Now answer the question saying the office is small.
Est-ce que tout va bien? Le bureau est petit.
Now imagine the office is noisy. Do you remember how to say noisy?
Bruyant, bruyant,
Say, the office is noisy.
le bureau est bruyant.
Now, answer the question saying the office is noisy.
Est-ce que tout va bien? Le bureau est bruyant.
Now imagine the office is dirty. Do you remember how to say dirty?
Sale, sale,
Say, the office is dirty.
le bureau est sale.
Now answer the question saying the office is dirty.
Est-ce que tout va bien? Le bureau est sale.
Want to speak real French from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at FrenchPod101.com.
Want to speak your target language with confidence and impress native speakers? When learning to speak a new language, you have lots of things to think about, including grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Because you're thinking of all of these things and trying to speak, it can be difficult to communicate with confidence, especially in the beginning. This is why it's helpful to make confidence-building exercises part of your language learning process. In this video, you'll learn 7 ways to boost your confidence. 1. Read out loud. This might seem pretty basic, but it's a great way to practice speaking. Reading aloud lets you practice speaking without having to think about grammar or things to talk about. Reading out loud lets you focus on your pronunciation and the rhythm of the language. It can help you learn to speak more smoothly and quickly, without even thinking about it. If you're using our lessons, read the dialogue out loud as you listen. You can read along with the dialogue tool, the lesson notes, or the transcript. 2. Read like a child. This might sound strange, but think about children learning to read. They go slow and sound everything out. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 tries before they read a new word smoothly, and a few more tries before they can read it at a natural pace. This example applies to language learning too. If you find a complex sentence in something you're reading, read it slowly at first, then speed up. With practice, you'll be able to say it easily. It might feel a bit silly to speak very slowly, but this kind of practice can help you identify tough sounds you might miss or say incorrectly when reading quickly. 3. Use the dialogue breakdown tool. If you're using our site, this is a great tool to take advantage of. It breaks down lesson conversations into individual lines. You can listen to the audio for each line, learn what each line means, and can reread and review as much as you want. 4. Use the voice recorder to record and compare yourself with native speakers. Just click on the microphone icon next to each line in the dialogue section. You can use this tool to perfect your pronunciation if you like, but this is also something you can use to work on speaking with confidence at native level speed. You'll find this tool in the dialogue section of all of our lessons. 5. Repeat and review old lesson conversations. Reviewing what you've studied in the past is the best way to make sure you maintain what you've learned. Go back to older lessons, download the lesson dialogue tracks, and re-listen to the conversations again and again. Or you can reread the dialogue lines from previous lessons until you've mastered them all. 6. Shadow conversations. Repeat what you hear out loud. This tactic is important, but it can be tricky when you're doing a brand new lesson. If you're reviewing dialogues from lessons you've done though, it's super easy to do. Just listen to the dialogue and repeat what you hear. Shadowing means mimicking the speaker as soon as they speak, following their intonation and rhythms as closely as possible. 7. Send recordings to your Premium Plus teacher. If you want to speak with confidence, there's no better confidence boost than feedback from a native speaker, and you get just that with a Premium Plus teacher. You can record yourself reciting a lesson dialogue or any dialogue of your own, and your teacher will give you specific tips on how to improve. From the tips your teacher gives you, choose at least one and practice, practice, practice. Being able to react quickly and with confidence in a conversation is typically not something you can do on your first try, but if you continue practicing, you'll gradually find yourself speaking with ease. And for even more ways to build your speaking confidence, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to ask and answer the question, how do you say this? After watching this video, you'll be able to ask someone how a word is pronounced. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your How to Say Something PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Comment dites-vous cela?
Ça se dit parking.
Once more with the English translation.
Comment dites-vous cela?
How do you say this?
Ça se dit parking.
It's parking lot. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, how do you say this? That's,
Comment dites-vous cela?
listen to it again.
Comment dites-vous cela? Comment dites-vous cela?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
Ça se dit.
word. It's word. For example, it's parking lot.
Ça se dit parking. Ça se dit parking.
Here are a few useful words you can use with the same pattern. Parking lot,
Parking. Parking.
giraffe,
Girafe. Girafe.
travel,
Voyage. Voyage.
invasion,
Invasion. Invasion.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Comment dites-vous cela?
Ça se dit girafe.
Comment dites-vous cela?
Ça se dit voyage.
Comment dites-vous cela?
Ça se dit invasion.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "How do you say this?"
Comment dites-vous cela?
Imagine it's the word giraffe. Do you remember how to say giraffe?
Girafe. Girafe.
Say, "It's giraffe."
Ça se dit girafe.
Now answer the question saying, "It's giraffe."
Comment dites-vous cela?
Ça se dit girafe.
Now imagine the word is travel. Do you remember how to say travel?
Voyage. Voyage.
Say, "It's travel."
Ça se dit voyage.
Now, answer the question saying it's travel.
Comment dites-vous cela?
Ça se dit voyage.
Now imagine the word is invasion. Do you remember how to say invasion?
Invasion. Invasion.
Say, "It's invasion."
Ça se dit invasion.
Now answer the question saying it's invasion.
Comment dites-vous cela?
Ça se dit invasion.
Want to speak and understand more of your target language? If so, of course, you'll need to know more words and phrases than you do now. In this video, we'll cover 5 ways to master new words and phrases fast. Number 1, use our free vocabulary list. This is a free library of vocabulary and phrase lessons for all kinds of situations. You can learn words and phrases for current events, holidays like Halloween and Thanksgiving, and useful topics like the top 10 ways to say hello, conversational phrases, and more. You'll learn phrases that you won't find in textbooks. If you want to learn extra fast, use the slideshow tool. Just tap or click on View Slideshow, then sit back and review the words and phrases. Find the vocabulary lists in the vocabulary drop-down menu on the site. These vocabulary lists are free for all users. Number 2, take the audio and video lessons. One of the best ways to learn new words is by hearing and using them in conversations. This is because it gives you the opportunity to understand how the words are actually used. In every lesson dialogue, you'll likely come across some words you don't know. But don't worry, because our teachers translate everything. When you hear the conversation again at the end of the lesson, you'll be familiar with the words you didn't know at first. Number 3, Learn with our 2,000 most common words list. A quick question. How many words do you think you need for conversational fluency? 3,000? 5,000? It's actually not as many as you think. Language experts say you need about 1,500 words to reach conversational fluency. With our 2,000 most common words list, you'll get access to key vocabulary words you need to boost your conversation skills. The words are broken down into simple categories, such as adjectives, nouns, verbs, food, drinks, numbers, months, and so on. So you can go category by category and focus on what you're most interested in first. With this tip, we're not talking about paper flashcards. We're talking about the smart flashcards that you can find in our premium study tools. This is an automatic system individualized for each member based on their study needs. First, you'll use the cards to check your knowledge. Then, according to your answers, the cards will be sorted according to which words you need more practice with. Words that you struggle with will be shown to you more and more. You'll see words that you know well less often. This system helps you study more efficiently. It displays the words you need to work on and knows when you should refresh your knowledge. This helps make sure you don't forget vocabulary. In every study session, these cards will help you refresh your memory on the words you learned last time and introduce new words. Number 5, use the words. After you learn a new word, using it right away is crucial to remembering it. So, when you're done with a lesson or a vocab list, here's something you can do. Leave a comment. Make up a sample sentence and post it in the comment section. Write it down in a notebook, or shadow the word with a lessons dialogue. Our language learning program is full of tools that can help you speak more. Just pick one and get started. If you want to unlock all of these study tools, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what's your favorite number? After watching this video, you'll be able to say many numbers and ask someone their favorite number. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Talking About Numbers PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Quel est ton chiffre préféré? C'est le 7.
Once more with the English translation.
Quel est ton chiffre préféré?
What's your favorite number?
C'est le 7.
It's 7. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what's your favorite number? That's,
Quel est ton chiffre préféré?
listen to it again.
Quel est ton chiffre préféré? Quel est ton chiffre préféré?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
C'est le.
number, but it means its number. For example, it's 7.
C'est le 7. C'est le 7.
Here are a few more numbers you can use with the same pattern. 7,
7. 7.
2,
2. 2.
4,
4. 4.
9,
9. 9.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Quel est ton chiffre préféré? C'est le 2. Quel est ton chiffre préféré? C'est le 4. Quel est ton chiffre préféré? C'est le 9.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "What's your favorite number?"
Quel est ton chiffre préféré?
Imagine it's 2. Do you remember how to say 2?
2. 2.
Say, "It's 2."
C'est le 2.
Now answer the question saying, "It's 2."
Quel est ton chiffre préféré? C'est le 2.
Now imagine it's 4. Do you remember how to say 4?
4. 4.
Say, "It's 4."
C'est le 4.
Now answer the question by saying, "It's 4."
Quel est ton chiffre préféré? C'est le 4.
Now imagine it's 9. Do you remember how to say 9?
9. 9.
Say, "It's 9."
C'est le 9.
Now answer the question saying, "It's 9."
Quel est ton chiffre préféré? C'est le 9.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what kind of movies do you like? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about movies and ask other people about their favorite kinds of movies. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Talking About Movies and TV PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Quel genre de film aimez-vous?
J'aime les films d'horreur.
Once more with the English translation.
Quel genre de film aimez-vous?
What kind of movies do you like?
J'aime les films d'horreur.
I like horror movies. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, "What kind of movies do you like?" That's,
Quel genre de film aimez-vous?
listen to it again.
Quel genre de film aimez-vous? Quel genre de film aimez-vous?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
J'aime le, la, les,
type of movie. I like type of movie. For example, I like horror movies.
j'aime les films d'horreur. J'aime les films d'horreur.
Here are a few more kinds of movies you can use with the same pattern to talk about movies. Horror movies.
Film d'horreur. Film d'horreur.
Comedy.
Comédie. comédie,
fantasy,
fantastique, fantastique,
romantic comedy,
comédie romantique, comédie romantique,
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Quel genre de film aimez-vous? J'aime les comédies. Quel genre de film aimez-vous? J'aime le fantastique. Quel genre de film aimez-vous? J'aime les comédies romantiques.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "What kind of movies do you like?"
Quel genre de film aimez-vous?
Imagine you like comedies. Do you remember how to say comedy?
Comédie. Comédie.
Say, "I like comedies."
J'aime les comédies.
Now answer the question saying that you like comedies.
Quel genre de film aimez-vous? J'aime les comédies.
Now imagine that you like fantasy movies. Do you remember how to say fantasy?
Fantastique. Fantastique.
Say, "I like fantasy movies."
J'aime le fantastique.
Now, answer the question saying you like fantasy movies.
Quel genre de film aimez-vous? J'aime le fantastique.
Now, imagine that you like romantic comedy movies. Do you remember how to say romantic comedy?
Comédie romantique. Comédie romantique.
Say, "I like romantic comedy movies."
J'aime les comédies romantiques.
Now answer the question saying you like romantic comedy movies.
Quel genre de film aimez-vous? J'aime les comédies romantiques.
When learning a new language, everyone should have an ultimate goal to work towards. Whether you want to be able to connect with a relative, easily order food while traveling, or go somewhere new, having an end goal for your learning can be very motivating. A popular but challenging goal is being able to speak like a native speaker. It's difficult to measure exactly when you reach this goal, and it's not something you can pick up using textbooks alone. So how do you work on making your speech more natural? That's what we're going to look at today. Here are 3 tips to help you practice talking like a native speaker. Number 1, focus on vocabulary. If your goal is to speak like a native, you might be really focused on speaking quickly or using as many complex grammar patterns as possible. But in our native languages, we're not always trying to speak as fast as possible, and we use complex grammar patterns when necessary, not to show off. Vocabulary, however, is extremely important to expressing ourselves naturally. Your choice of words can reveal a lot about you and your understanding of the language. Most learners have had the experience of using a phrasebook or a dictionary to find a word they want to use, trying the word in conversation, and getting a look of confusion from the native speaker. In some cases, although your word choice may be grammatically correct, the word may be inappropriate for the situation or totally unnatural. This is especially important in business and other formal situations, where the right level of formality and professionalism is key. Being able to understand nuances in vocabulary words can also help you understand relationships between people just by listening to the conversation. Try to listen to many different types of conversations. Listen to how people talk to their friends, their superiors, and in customer service situations. This will give you a better idea of how to talk to others naturally. In some languages, you can omit words from sentences or use more direct communication styles. It's important to be aware of these things so you can apply them yourself. Colloquialisms and slang are also commonly used in most languages. As this sort of vocabulary is always evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with the latest words. Talk with native speakers and consume media in your target language to make sure you pick up these kinds of expressions. Media is a great resource for your learning. Ultimately, knowing the appropriate vocabulary to use for each situation will really help you sound more knowledgeable. Number 2, perfect your accent. With every language, there are unique pronunciation and intonation challenges. Some languages are tonal languages, and a change in pitch can completely change the meaning of a word. Then there's the fact that most countries have multiple dialects, and so people from one area of the country may sound different from those in another. So what is the best way to listen to a wide range of accents and different pronunciations? Video and audio resources are a great way to do this. YouTube is a perfect place to start because people from all kinds of different backgrounds upload videos to the platform. You can watch educational videos, daily life vlogs, cooking shows, a travel series, whatever interests you. Pay attention to the different ways people speak. Everyone is unique. And then practice speaking like them. This kind of practice can help you sound more natural. One note, please be aware of the type of resources you're using. For example, if you find a video where a speaker uses a rare dialect, it might not be a good idea to use that for your pronunciation practice, unless you have a special reason for studying a specific accent. As a general rule, it's best to try to search for practice resources that use a standard form of the language you're studying. Number 3, copy what you hear. Do you remember how you learned to speak as a child? We rarely learned new words just listening to them, or reading after we learned how. When we were little kids, we imitated the sounds we heard by repeating the sounds out loud. While you're talking to a friend, watching videos, or listening to audio in your target language, you can do this to try and replicate the way they speak. Doing this will help you work on mastering the flow of the language, your accent, intonation, and pronunciation. Of course, you might also pick up some new vocabulary this way. Make sure to repeat new words often. It's a great way to make sure you remember them. Try doing this using a number of different mediums and sources. That way, you'll be exposed to the diversity that the language offers and master the fundamentals of pronunciation. For example, you can watch and imitate several different YouTube videos and audio CDs, but try a few different sources, like different creators or different audio types, to make sure you experience a wide range of communication in your target language. If you're using our language learning program, you can even get your own teacher with Premium Plus. Your teacher can answer questions, give assignments, and even listen to your recordings and give you advice on pronunciation. Completing these kinds of lessons with a native teacher can really boost your confidence in your speaking skills. Becoming able to speak like a native is a popular goal for many people learning a new language. It feels great to be able to communicate smoothly, especially when the people you're talking to expect basic level sentences or broken communication. Try using the tips we've shared in this video to work on improving your speaking skills. Of course, it'll take time and persistence, but the reward will be more natural communication. And for even more tips on speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what are you doing during the holiday? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about your holiday plans. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your National Holidays PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Que fais-tu pour le 14 juillet?
Je prévois d'aller à la plage.
Once more with the English translation.
Que fais-tu pour le 14 juillet?
What are you doing for Bastille Day?
Je prévois d'aller à la plage.
I'm planning to go to the beach. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what are you doing for Bastille Day? That's,
Que fais-tu pour le 14 juillet?
the 14th of July commemorates the storming of the Bastille, a critical event in launching the French Revolution, and represents the birth of the modern French nation. Listen to it again.
Que fais-tu pour le 14 juillet? Que fais-tu pour le 14 juillet?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
Je prévois de.
plan. I'm planning to plan. For example, I'm planning to go to the beach.
Je prévois d'aller à la plage. Je prévois d'aller à la plage.
Here are a few more phrases you can use with the same pattern to talk about your plans. Go to the beach.
Aller à la plage. Aller à la plage.
Travel.
Voyager. Voyager.
Stay home.
Rester à la maison. Rester à la maison.
Go to the movies.
Aller au cinéma. Aller au cinéma.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Que fais-tu pour le 14 juillet? Je prévois de voyager. Que fais-tu pour le 14 juillet? Je prévois de rester à la maison. Que fais-tu pour le 14 juillet? Je prévois d'aller au cinéma.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what are you doing for Bastille Day?
Que fais-tu pour le 14 juillet?
Imagine you're planning to travel. Do you remember how to say travel?
Voyager. Voyager.
Say, I'm planning to travel.
Je prévois de voyager.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to travel.
Que fais-tu pour le 14 juillet? Je prévois de voyager.
Now, imagine you're planning to stay home. Do you remember how to say stay home?
Rester à la maison. Rester à la maison.
Say, I'm planning to stay home.
Je prévois de rester à la maison.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to stay home.
Que fais-tu pour le 14 juillet? Je prévois de rester à la maison.
Now imagine you're planning to go to the movies. Do you remember how to say go to the movies?
Aller au cinéma. Aller au cinéma.
Say, I'm planning to go to the movies.
Je prévois d'aller au cinéma.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to go to the movies.
Que fais-tu pour le 14 juillet? Je prévois d'aller au cinéma.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to use when talking on the phone. After watching this video, you'll be able to ask for someone on the phone and to put someone on hold. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Making a Phone Call PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Bonjour, je voudrais parler avec le responsable.
D'accord, un instant.
Once more with the English translation.
Bonjour, je voudrais parler avec le responsable.
Hello, I'd like to speak with the person in charge.
D'accord, un instant.
Okay, just a moment. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say hello on the phone. That's
Bonjour. Bonjour.
Then you'll need to learn how to say, I'd like to speak with person. The pattern is
Je voudrais parler avec.
person. For example, hello, I'd like to speak with the person in charge.
Bonjour, je voudrais parler avec le responsable. Bonjour, je voudrais parler avec le responsable.
Now, how do you answer this question?
D'accord, un instant.
Okay, just a moment. Listen to it again.
D'accord, un instant. D'accord, un instant.
This French sentence literally translates as, all right, one moment, but it means, okay, just a moment. Here are a few more phrases you can use with the same pattern to talk on the phone. The person in charge.
Le responsable. Le responsable.
A sales representative.
Le représentant des ventes. Le représentant des ventes.
The manager.
Le gérant. Le gérant.
Customer service.
Le service client. Le service client.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Je voudrais parler avec le représentant des ventes.
D'accord, un instant.
Je voudrais parler avec le gérant.
D'accord, un instant.
Je voudrais parler avec le service client.
D'accord, un instant.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, I'd like to speak with person?
Je voudrais parler avec.
Person. And how do you answer it?
D'accord, un instant.
Imagine you want to talk to a sales representative. Do you remember how to say, a sales representative?
Le représentant des ventes. Le représentant des ventes.
Say, I'd like to speak with a sales representative.
Je voudrais parler avec le représentant des ventes.
Now say you want to talk to a sales representative and answer it.
Je voudrais parler avec le représentant des ventes.
D'accord, un instant.
Now, imagine you want to talk to the manager. Do you remember how to say the manager?
Le gérant. Le gérant.
Say, I'd like to speak with the manager.
Je voudrais parler avec le gérant.
Now say you want to talk to the manager and answer it.
Je voudrais parler avec le gérant.
D'accord, un instant.
Now imagine you want to talk to customer service. Do you remember how to say customer service?
Le service client. Le service client.
Say, I'd like to speak with customer service.
Je voudrais parler avec le service client.
Now say you want to talk to customer service and answer it.
Je voudrais parler avec le service client.
D'accord, un instant.
Hi, welcome to Introduction to French. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Candice.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of French grammar. In some languages, like French, nouns are divided into different classes.
For example, French divides nouns into two classes using gender, masculine and feminine.
Let's take a look at some masculine nouns.
Lit, fromage, village, livre.
Now, feminine nouns.
Cuillère, bout, revue, syllabe.
There are some rules for learning the gender of French nouns, but they're quite complex. Many consider the designation of gender to be largely arbitrary, so it's likely that you'll just have to memorize them. Okay, so now you know that nouns are divided into gender classes, but why is this important?
Learning gender nouns is important for forming sentences in French. For example, lit means bed in French, and it's a masculine noun. If you want to refer to the bed in a sentence, however, you need to add le before the noun. Le lit. In fact, if you want to refer to any masculine noun in French, you need to use le or un. Le fromage, le village, un livre. On the other hand, we use la and une to refer to feminine nouns. La cuillère, la boue, une revue, une syllabe.
Now you know how to refer to nouns in French. Similar to nouns, French verbs can also be separated into different classes.
There are three classes of verbs in French, and they are verbs ending in "et", manger, nager, travailler, aimer. Verbs ending in "ir", finir, ralentir, réagir. And verbs ending in re, voir, and ir, mourir, recevoir, lire.
Each class of verbs will be conjugated differently when used in a sentence. Let's take a look at a few examples to see how they differ.
To swim is nager in French, and it comes from the first group because it ends in "et".
I swim in the present tense would be,
Je nage,
past tense would be,
je nageais,
and the future tense would be.
je nagerai.
Let's compare that to a verb in group 2.
To finish is finir in French, and it comes from the second group because it ends in ir. Je finis, je finissais, je finirai.
Finally, a verb from group 3.
To read is lire in French, and it comes from the third group because it ends with re. Je lis, je lisais, je lirai.
We'll teach you how to properly conjugate verbs of different classes in future lessons. For now, just know that there are 3 different categories of verbs in French. Okay, now you know about nouns and verbs in French. Let's learn how to form basic sentences in French.
Forming sentences in French is quite simple, especially for English speakers, as French uses the same word order as English.
Consider the following example.
Le garçon mange un gâteau.
In English, this sentence means, the boy eats a cake.
If we break down the French sentence, we can see that the order matches the English sentence one-to-one. Le, the, garçon, boy, mange, eats, un, a, gâteau, cake.
We can create basic sentences in French simply by exchanging English words for French words.
Notice how we use un here, because gâteau is a masculine noun. If the object had been a feminine noun, we'd have used une instead.
We can create any basic sentence in French by starting with a subject, in this case, the boy.
Le garçon
Then follow it with a verb, eats,
mange
and finally end with the object, the cake.
un gâteau.
As you can see, the word order in French is just like English. Finally, let's learn how to create negative sentences in French.
Negating sentences in French is simple. Simply add ne before the verb and pas after it. J'ai, je n'ai pas. J'aime lire, je n'aime pas lire. Juliette mange, Juliette ne mange pas. You can negate any basic sentence in French this way.
Well done! Let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what we've learned. In this lesson, you learned that French nouns are divided into 2 classes, masculine and feminine. Similar to nouns, French verbs are divided into 3 groups. French uses the same subject, verb, object, word order like English. And finally, you learned how to negate sentences in French. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
Bye! Hi everybody, Candice here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer your most common French questions. The question for this lesson is, what are the main differences between written and spoken French? Written French and spoken French can seem completely different. A lot of grammar is relaxed in spoken French, so sometimes you might have trouble recognizing a phrase even if you already know it. For instance, abbreviations are extremely common in spoken French. It goes beyond dropping the E of je in front of vowels such as j'ai, which is I have, or l'année, which is the year. Among the most common spoken abbreviation is t'es for tu es, which means you are. So instead of tu es jolie for you're cute, you hear t'es jolie. Similarly, tu as, you have, is often shortened to ta. Another common omission is the ne in negative sentences. In writing, the correct way to say I have no money is je n'ai pas d'argent. In casual spoken French, you can just say j'ai pas d'argent. Here's another example. Ce n'est pas grave means no problem or it's not a big deal. Spoken, we usually say c'est pas grave. When people talk quickly, it can even sound like c'est pas grave, so you might not even hear the c'est. One more example is je ne peux pas, meaning I can't, can become je peux pas, but we can make it shorter and more casual by dropping the e, je peux pas. Some grammatical structures are more common in spoken French too. For instance, questions are usually shorter and more direct. Instead of saying the full qu'est-ce que tu as fait for what did you do? You probably hear t'as fait quoi, which literally translates to you did what? Another common spoken sentence structure is adding a pronoun at the beginning for emphasis. For example, if you want to emphasize your personal opinion, you could say moi je pense. Literally, that means me, I think. In English, it's something like as for me. Here's another example. If you're talking about your family's plans for the weekend, you can add nous for emphasis. Nous allons à la plage. Us, or us for us, we're going to the beach. There we go! I hope that clears things up. In another lesson, we'll go over le verlan, which is a form of French spoken slang. If you have other questions, please leave them in the comments and I try to answer them. À bientôt! See you soon! Hi everybody, Candice here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, while I answer your most common French questions. The question for this lesson is, what are some French business expressions? Many French business expressions can also be used in casual settings, so it's good to know these standard phrases so you can communicate in both types of situations. In this lesson, we will go over some basic business expressions that you can use in French. Je m'excuse du retard, which means I am sorry for being late. It's a very useful phrase. You can use this for whatever reason. You can manage to be on time for a meeting or just come in late to the office. You can also say désolé pour le retard, which means the same thing, but it's a little more casual. If you're asked to write a report and want to know when it's due, you can ask quand dois-je rendre le rapport, which literally means when should I give the report. If you're a little busy at work and want to let your coworkers know, you can use this phrase, je suis en train d'organiser un rendez-vous. Être en train de means to be in the middle of something. So the example, je suis en train d'organiser un rendez-vous, means I'm in the middle of organizing a meeting. Se rendre compte is another great idiom to use in business. It literally means realize or be aware. Let's go over how to use it. For example, if your team has a lot of work to do, but you will be out of town the next week, you can say rendez-vous compte que je suis en vacances la semaine prochaine, which means take into consideration that I'm on vacation next week. If your boss needs something urgently and you have just finished your work, you can use the phrase venir de, which literally means to come from. It's also an expression that means just now. If you want to say, I just finished my project, you can say, je viens de finir mon projet. When everything is finished, you can use the phrase, c'est un plaisir de collaborer avec vous, which means it's a pleasure doing business with you. You can also use travailler, which means work, instead of collaborer. With travailler, the phrase would be c'est un plaisir de travailler avec vous, which means it's a pleasure working with you. And that's it. I hope these phrases can come in handy for you. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments and I try to answer them. À bientôt. See you soon. Hi everybody, Candice here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, while I answer your most common French questions. The question for this lesson is, what are some popular French idioms? In English, we have our fair share of idioms like it's raining cats and dogs, or even what's up. They might not make much sense literally, but they are commonly used in everyday conversation. French, of course, has them too, and here are some examples. Faire la tête means to sulk, but its literal translation is actually to do the head. It's used when someone isn't happy about something and in a bad mood. For example, elle a fait la tête toute la journée. She sulked all day. We also have coup de foudre, which literally means a strike of lightning. But as an idiom, it means love at first sight. Pretty fitting, actually. Ça marche is one you'll come across every day. Marcher means to walk, but ça marche means that works. English speakers might recognize this following one. Il fait un temps de chien, literally. It's a dog weather. It means, as you might have guessed, it's terrible weather. Here's a funny one. Arriver comme un cheveu sur la soupe. It literally means to arrive like a hair in the soup. This is about entering a situation at the worst possible moment. It can also mean arriving suddenly, by chance. Another idiom that uses food is mettre son grain de sel, literally, to put one's grain of salt. It's an idiom that means to give an unnecessary opinion. Donner sa langue au chat literally means to give one's tongue to the cat, but it actually means to give up. For example, if someone asks you to guess something and you have no idea what the answer is. Another one that doesn't make much sense, but you'll often hear is faire la grasse matinée, which literally means to do a fat morning, but people use it to say they slept in. Ça coûte les yeux de la tête, which means it's ridiculously expensive, but literally means it costs the eyes out of the head. There you go, try them out. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments below and I try to answer them. À bientôt, see you soon.
Salut, je m'appelle Ingrid. Hi everybody, I'm Ingrid. Welcome to FrenchPod101.coms, le français en 3 minutes. The fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn French. In the last lesson, we learned how to be grateful to people by saying merci. In this lesson, we'll learn some of the other most common greetings used in France. Vous êtes prêts? Are you ready? Alors, c'est parti. Let's start. The most used informal greeting is salut. Salut. Salut means hi, hello, or goodbye. We use it when we meet but also when we leave. We should only use this greeting with friends and family. And now, let's continue by discussing the formal way to greet people. The one you are probably used to hearing is bonjour. Bonjour. Literally, bonjour means good day. However, we may also interpret it as good morning or good afternoon. As a rule of thumb, we can use bonjour only during the daytime, from morning until evening. During the evening, we say bonsoir. Bonsoir. Soir is French for evening, so bonsoir means good evening. Bonjour and bonsoir are used when we meet someone, but when we leave, we don't say them again. In this formal situation, French people use au revoir. Au revoir. Au revoir means goodbye. Finally, in French, we have an expression meaning see you soon that can be considered both formal and informal. À bientôt. À bientôt. Now, you can greet people in many different ways in French. Let's review them all again. When meeting someone informally, we say salut. When meeting someone formally, we say bonjour or bonsoir. When living in a formal situation, au revoir. When living, no matter whether it's formal or informal situation, à bientôt. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Ingrid's insights. In formal situation, French people commonly greet each other by shaking hands. On the other hand, if we meet someone we are really friends with, we kiss each other on both cheeks. Don't be afraid to do it with your French friends, it's normal. During the next lesson, we'll learn the meaning of the phrase Parlez-vous anglais? Do you already know it? We'll be waiting to talk about it with you in our next Le Français en 3 minutes lesson. À bientôt!
Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn 9 French consonants. P, S, Sh, J, T, V, W, Y, Z. These consonant sounds are identical to the ones in English, so they should already be familiar to you. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first consonant is P, pomme, like the P in the word pack. P, P. P, P. The next consonant is S, si, like the S in the word see. S, 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 S. The next consonant is Sh, shu, like the sh sound in the word sheep. Sh, 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 sh. The next consonant is J, jour. Pronounce it as you would pronounce the S in the word measure. J, 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 J. The next consonant is T, tu, like the T in the word take. T, 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 T. The next consonant is V, vu, like the V in the word view. V, 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 v. The next consonant is W, oui, like the W in the word we. W, 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 w. The next consonant is Y, y, like the Y in the word yes. Y, 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 y. And the final consonant for this lesson is Z, zéro, like the Z in the word zebra. Z, 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 z. Well done! You just learned another 9 French consonants. P, S, Sh, J, T, V, W, Y, Z. In the next lesson, you'll learn 3 new consonant sounds. These sounds don't appear in English, so they'll be trickier than the last group. Were there more common sounds than you expected? Please comment and share your thoughts. See you in the next Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone, and welcome to the Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn 11 French consonants. B, ch, d, f, g, j, k, l, n, n, ng. These consonant sounds are identical to the ones in English, so they should already be familiar to you. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first consonant is B, boo, like the B in the word bite. B, b.
B. B.
The next consonant is
Ch. Sandwich.
like the ch sound in the word match.
Ch. 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 Ch.
The next consonant is
D. Din.
like the D in the word dad.
D. 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 D.
The next consonant is
F. Fabuleuse.
like the F in the word find.
F. 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 F.
The next consonant is
G. Gain.
like the G in the word goggle.
G. 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 G.
The next consonant is
J. Adjonction.
like the J sound in the word edge.
J. 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 J.
The next consonant is
K. Cabinet.
like the K in the word kite.
K. 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 K.
The next consonant is
L. Loup.
like the L in the word like.
L. 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 L.
The next consonant is
Manger.
like the M in the word mouse.
Mm. 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 Mm.
The next consonant is
Connexion.
like the N in the word nice.
Mm. 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 Mm.
And the final consonant for this lesson is
Ng. Parking.
like the sound in the word sing.
Ng. 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 Ng.
Well done! You just learned your first 11 French consonants.
B. Ch. D. F. G. J. K. L. N. N. Ng.
In the next lesson, you'll learn 9 more consonant sounds that are identical to the ones in English. Was seeing the pronunciation illustrations helpful? Please comment and share your thoughts. See you in the next Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide. In this series, you'll master French pronunciation. Proper pronunciation is essential in French, and in this series, you'll learn it in a fast, comprehensive, and easy way. In this first lesson of the series, you'll learn about the building blocks of the French pronunciation system that will help you in future lessons. The letters used in French are the same as the letters you use in English, with the exception of a few accents on some of the letters. But be careful not to fall into a very common trap. As you're learning to speak correctly, you shouldn't concern yourself with all the letters. That's right, forget them. You care about the sounds of French, and here they are. There are 23 consonant sounds and 16 vowel sounds. You can form every single word in French by using these sounds. Still seem complicated? Well, how about this? Of the 23 consonant sounds in French, you already know 20 of them. That's right. If you're a native English speaker, then you already make these sounds every day. You can also ignore 6 of the vowel sounds for the same reason. The only thing standing between you and perfect French pronunciation are 3 new consonant and 10 new vowel sounds. You can handle that. Now let me introduce Maëlys, who will be helping you to master these new sounds.
Bonjour, c'est Maëlys.
Maëlys will be giving you native pronunciation examples for you to imitate, but for this first lesson, just sit back and listen to the unique sounds of French.
Agneau, roux, 8, pâte, sang, lait, queue, pain, peur, un, tu, son, bureau.
In the next lesson, we'll take a look at the top 5 pronunciation mistakes French learners make. You'll want to make sure not to fall into these common traps. After that, we'll begin going through the vowels and consonants of French. This is your chance to learn how to correctly say all of the words you just heard. We'll finish up the series by covering some special topics that will really make your French sound natural. To close this lesson, here's a question for you. Why is it important to spend time on learning proper pronunciation, even if you're already an advanced speaker? The answer, you will be understood, and this will help you build more confidence as you communicate in French. For beginners, you're creating a strong foundation to build on. And for more advanced students, this is your chance to improve your accent and lose any bad habits you may have picked up. What is the hardest part of French pronunciation? Tell us about it in the comments. See you in the next Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn the remaining 9 French vowels.
E, un, un, o, on, a, en.
Some vowels may be hard for you to distinguish, especially for English speakers, so make sure you listen carefully. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first vowel is
Est, fête, peine, est.
It's identical to the E sound in the word red.
Est, est. Est, est.
The next vowel is
Un, impair, pain, d'un.
This is identical to the previous sound, except with nasality. When you pronounce vowels normally, the sound is made by expelling air through the mouth. But with nasal vowels, you expel air through the mouth and the nose. Try to pronounce the sound without obstruction from the lips, tongue, or throat. The idea is to direct the passage of air into the cavity that exists behind that small, fleshy part that hangs down from the roof of your mouth. Try to pronounce the E in the word red while pronouncing it through your nose.
Un, un, un.
The next vowel is
E, sœur, jeune, peur.
This is identical to the 2 previous sounds, except that the lips are rounded and there is no nasality. Try saying the E sound in red while rounding your lips. Now listen to Maëlys.
E,
The next vowel is
un, brun, un.
parfum.
This is identical to the previous sound except with nasality. Try saying the E sound in red while rounding your lips and pronouncing it through your nose. Now listen to Miley's.
Un. 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 Un.
The next vowel is
O. Minimum. Sort. École.
It's the same as the OU sound in the word ought.
O. 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 O.
The next vowel is
On. Champignon. Non. Son.
This is identical to the previous sound, except that there's nasality. Try saying the OU sound in the word ought while pronouncing it through your nose.
On. 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 On.
The next vowel is
A. Femme. Banane. Pâte.
It sounds very similar to the A sound in the word pat, though not as whiny. Try moving your tongue further back into the mouth so that it assumes a more centralized position. It should sound a little deeper as a result, and instead of a whiny sound, it now has a darker quality to it. The resulting vowel should sound somewhere in between the A sounds of the words pat and bra. Listen to Miley's.
A. 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 A.
The next vowel is
A. Pâte. Glas. Hâte.
It's identical to the A sound in the word father.
A. 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 A.
And the last vowel is
En. Sans. Chant. Tant.
This is identical to the previous sound, except that there's nasality. Try saying the A in father while pronouncing it through your nose. Now listen to Miley's.
En. 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 En.
Well done! You've just learned another 9 vowel sounds in French.
Et. Un. E. Un. O. On. A. A. En.
You can now pronounce any vowel that could possibly appear in the French language. Isn't that great? Well, that's it for vowels. In the next lesson, you'll start learning consonant sounds. Which vowel sound was the most difficult for you to learn? Please comment and share your thoughts. See you in the next Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn 7 French vowels.
I. U. U. E. E. O. E.
Some vowels may be hard for you to distinguish, especially for English speakers, so make sure you listen carefully. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first vowel is
I. I. Fini. Si.
It's identical to the double E sound in the word see.
I. 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 I.
The next vowel is
U. Chute. Rue. Tu.
This is identical to the previous sound except that the lips are rounded. Try saying the E in see while rounding your lips. Now listen to Miley's.
U. 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 U.
The next vowel is
Ou. Cou. Clown. Roux.
It's identical to the double O sound in the word boot.
Ou. 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 Ou.
The next vowel is
Et. Marcher. Chez. Pied.
This is similar to the A sound in the word play. However, try not to carry over the Y sound too much. Try to relax your jaw and say it as if you're allowing the vowel to spill out from your mouth. Listen to Miley's.
Et. 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 Et.
The next vowel is
E. Je n'ai que ce.
This is identical to the previous sound, except that the lips are rounded.
E. 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 E.
The next vowel is
O. O. To. So.
This is quite similar to the two previous sounds, except that it's pronounced at the back of the mouth. It's a little bit like the O sound in the word O, but try not to carry over the W sound too much. Listen to Miley's.
O. 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 O.
And the last vowel is
E. Lèche. Monsieur. Ce.
It's identical to the E sound at the end of the word problem.
E. E. E.
Well done! You've just learned 7 vowel sounds in French.
I. U. U. E. E. O. E.
In the next lesson, you'll learn the remaining 9 French vowel sounds. Which vowel sound was the most difficult for you to learn? Please comment and share your thoughts. See you in the next Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn 3 French consonants.
Nye. R. Oui.
These consonant sounds do not appear in English, so they'll likely be new to you. Be sure to practice them, because these are the unique sounds that learners often get wrong. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first consonant is
Nye. Agneau. Montagne. Campagne.
Let's break this consonant down. Raise your tongue so that the middle or blade of the tongue touches the roof of your mouth. It kind of sounds like a combination between the N and Y sounds in the English word canyon. Here's a great tip. Try to think of it as pronouncing a regular English N sound, but instead of using the tip of your tongue, try to use the blade or the middle part of your tongue.
Nye. 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 Nye.
The next consonant is
R. Roux. Rester. Ri.
Let's break this consonant down. Do you know that fleshy part that hangs down from the roof of your mouth? Narrow that section with the back part of your tongue and push air through it until you start making a sound. It sounds a bit like the noise you make when you're gargling. This sound is voiced, meaning you should feel vibrations coming from your throat and chest.
R. 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 R.
The final consonant for this lesson is
Puis. Huit. Puis.
This is like a Y sound, but with rounded lips. Try saying y while rounding your lips. If that doesn't work, try rounding your lips first and then make the Y sound.
Puis. 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 Puis.
Well done. You just learned all three of the trickiest French consonants.
Nye. R. Oui.
These consonant sounds don't appear in English, so be sure to practice them. You now know all of the sounds that could possibly be pronounced in French. How difficult were they to learn? Please comment and share your thoughts. See you in the next Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone, and welcome to the Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn the top 5 French pronunciation mistakes to avoid. These are common mistakes that French learners tend to make. So pay close attention and make sure that you don't make these same mistakes too. Are you ready? Then let's get started. Number 1. Mispronouncing the French R. The French R is the most difficult sound to pronounce properly for many students of French, particularly when there isn't a similar sound in the student's own language. It's also a very common letter in French, so it will appear often in everyday conversations. Take, for example,
Lorsque tu arrives à la gare, appelle-moi.
It's kind of deceptive to think of the French R in the same way as the English R, just because they are written in the same way. They clearly don't sound the same at all. Not only this, but they also use different muscles in the mouth. The French R is also called a guttural R because it's pronounced closer to the throat. Don't worry about the specifics now, however. We'll break this sound down in detail in Lesson 7. Number 2. Pronouncing a silent letter. It's a common mistake for students of French to pronounce silent letters because the tendency is to pronounce everything that one sees. The French language, however, is full of words that contain silent letters, particularly at the end of a word. It is in fact more common for a French word to have a silent letter than none at all. Take, for example,
Je vais pêcher au port.
Did you catch the silent letters in this sentence? Notice how Miley's did not pronounce the S and the T. Listen to it again.
Je vais pêcher au port.
Most of the time, you don't need to pronounce the last letter of a word in French. There are of course some exceptions to this rule, particularly if the following word starts with a vowel sound, or if the word ends with a C, F, or an L. But as a general principle, it's quite common to drop the last letter, as it will most likely be a silent letter. We'll cover silent letters in detail in Lesson 8. Number 3. Aspirated H's versus muted H's.
N. Hôpital.
Aspirated H's will not allow contractions or liaisons to occur in front of it. For example,
Laine. La haine.
Whereas muted H's will.
L'hôpital.
Most French H's are of this muted variety. They're not interchangeable either, so their usage will depend on the word itself. This unfortunately means that you'll just have to learn them individually. Next is number 4, contractions in French. Unlike English, contractions are not optional in French. You must always contract words wherever possible. For example,
Je appelais. J'appelle. Ce est. C'est. De le. Du. De les. Des.
Don't worry about the rules and principles for contractions too much, though, as we'll cover them in detail in Lesson 8. And finally, number 5, the French U.
U.
The French U is typically a difficult vowel sound for many speakers to pronounce correctly, particularly for speakers of English, because there isn't an equivalent sound in the English language. Whatever you do, though, do not substitute this sound for the English U sound. A simple way to produce the French U is to first try and pronounce the double E sound in the word see. From this position, simply round your lips as if you were about to whistle. And that's all there is to it. Try it.
U.
Let's listen to a few examples which utilize the French U in some words.
Tu. Rue. Chute.
We'll cover this vowel sound again in Lesson 4. Now you know the top 5 French pronunciation mistakes to avoid. Try to be careful so that you don't commit these same mistakes. In the next lesson, we'll start learning vowel sounds in French. Which of these 5 mistakes is the hardest to avoid? Have you learned any tricks to deal with them? Let us know in the comments. Stick with us and you'll overcome it quickly. See you in the next Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide. Let's begin with French accents. Accents can be used to mark slight changes to the original pronunciation of a particular letter. They may look intimidating at first, and their function may seem complicated, but in fact it's quite simple. There are a total of 5 accents in French, 4 of which are for vowels, and 1 of them for the letter C. The acute accent, the grave accent, the circumflex, the diaereses, and the cedilla. Not all of these accents can be used with all of the vowels. Only certain accents will appear over certain letters. The acute accent, for example, can only appear over the letter E.
Et.
This means that you'll never see this accent over any letter other than the letter E. Similar rules also apply to other accents. But it gets better still, as many of these accent and vowel combinations don't impact the pronunciation at all. They serve other functions unrelated to pronunciation.
Ou. Ou.
Let's focus on the accent and letter pairings that do impact pronunciation. Here are all of them. It's important to remember that you've learned how to pronounce all of these sounds before. These accents do not introduce any new sounds that we haven't taught you already. So if you've been studying properly, you should be able to pronounce the correct sound just by hearing it. Let's have a look at the first one, the acute accent over the letter E. It's pronounced
Et. École. Métro. Écouter.
Words ending in ER, EZ, and ED in French are also pronounced this way.
Chanter. Vous chantez. Pied.
Now let's move on. Both the grave accented E and the circumflexed E are pronounced the same way.
Est. Mère. Frère. Est. Pêche. Fête.
A regular E before a consonant and the letters EI together are also pronounced the same way.
Pelle. Reine.
The circumflexed A is pronounced
A. Pâte. Hâte. Château.
It's the same pronunciation as
Glas. Gras.
the circumflexed O is pronounced
Eau. Haute. Hôpital. Côte.
It's the same pronunciation as
Eau. Saut.
We can think of the diareses set collectively, as they do not impact the letters directly. The diareses signifies that one should pronounce the vowel separately from the preceding vowel. That is to say that you should not combine the two vowels together. Instead, you should pronounce them in separate syllables. This can be seen in words like naive or Noël. Listen to the example.
Naïve, Noël, maïs.
The final accent is the cedilla, and it only applies to the letter C.
S.
This causes the letter C to be pronounced as an S sound.
Garçon, je lançais.
Now let's move on to silent and final letters. In English, you're used to pronouncing all letters in a word. While silent letters do exist in English, they're not nearly as common as they are in French. Silent letters appear quite frequently in French. As a rule of thumb, you generally don't pronounce a final letter if it's a consonant.
Froid, sang, chant.
Of course, exceptions do exist for certain letters.
Club, anorak, part.
If the word ends with the letter E, it's almost never pronounced.
Homme, pomme. Exemple.
The letter E isn't pronounced in the 9 single-syllable words either. They are instead contracted. Take a look at these examples.
Je appelais, j'appelle. Le accident, l'accident. Ce est, c'est.
There are a few exceptions, however, so be careful.
De le, du, de les, des.
That's all for silent and final letters. In this lesson, you learned about the use of French accents and about silent and final letters. In the next lesson, you'll learn about liaisons in French. Do you have accents in your language? If so, what kind? Let us know in the comments. See you in the next Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide lesson. Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free French ebook before it's gone.